Hola.
Hello, everyone. Today, wanted to continue from yesterday the rituals and ceremony discussion and take a few moments and dive in, drop in to this very special, rarefied form of ritual ceremony. Very specific. It's an invitation, an entry point, and a massive gift. So hopefully I built it up enough, but you can drop in for a nice moment. Maybe let our eyes fall closed, come into our body, deepen our breath, and preparing for today, our discussion of our exploration into initiations, being initiated, receiving an initiation. So there are many types of initiations. One of the great tragedies, in our opinion, at Souls Enterprise is how so much of Western culture has lost initiations. Indigenous tribe after indigenous tribe has these special demarcations,
Mhm.
particularly in all the men's work that I'm into, the rite of passage from childhood into adulthood, becoming a man, and same thing, becoming a woman. There are initiations there. And a lot of us Westerners don't have anything like that. Initiation is a demarcation from one level or one trajectory to another. And then, of course, there's spiritual initiations. Anyone who's ever gotten into Buddhist, Hindu, Vedic guru yoga often can have the invitation for an initiation, which can be a transfer, or even uh, into sororities or fraternities. There's
which
initiations.
which probably borrow some of those same traditions that you're talking about, and ancestrally um, we're aware of many African, Hindu, indigenous cultures where, yeah, everything you're talking about is the same. So I think fraternities and sororities borrowed that wisdom.
So, if we can just connect to the depth of this tradition, the possibilities in an initiation, just like any ceremony, anything in life, it's what we make of it. Okay? So we can get initiated and do nothing with it. We can get initiated and really take it and embody it and run with it, grow with it. So, speaking personally of the last month for now, this series of integrating for me, and I never noticed the beautiful similarity between initiation and integration, even
Mhm.
phonetically, very similar.
Yeah.
So, speaking personally, the initiation of this darkroom retreat. And it's funny because I didn't even think of it that way until men's group. My facilitator said when I was reporting on it and talking about integration and all the big stuff up in the dark room, he's like, "Yeah, Prasad, that was quite the initiation." And this light bulb went off. Like, yeah, yeah, it was. So it made it very alive
Mhm.
to talk about and share. the many forms of initiation, right?
Yes.
So I just want to highlight today the demarcation. Yesterday we had rituals and ceremonies, and this initiation is a very specific transition point. I already said that, but it's so important.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll get into it in a moment around there are ritualistic celebrations and ceremonies that one can do, and we're saying that many traditions already have as just part of their life, really. And then there are what I would consider spontaneous kind of initiations. And it sounds like the darkroom retreat was, in a way, both of them. It's kind of both end. You went into it with a lot of intentions behind it. And then when someone kind of claimed that as an initiation, then you were able to step into the power of it as such, in addition to all the other gifts that it brought you. And so, I just like to share that for those of you that maybe are newer to ritual ceremony initiations, you might be able to take a moment and contemplate, look back into your life and notice where, even if it's not customary in your tradition or in your daily life, where you live in the Western modern world, it actually was an initiation. And some people also talk about the dark night or the dark nights of the soul as a kind of initiation. Losing someone, that could be a kind of initiation. So I just wanted to bring up there's both the formal and informal, the intentional and the spontaneous.
Yeah, thank you. Many, many types of initiations. And so, yes, can be super ritualistic and can be creative and co-created and spontaneous. So, yes, for those of you that initiations aren't a part of your reality,
Repertoire.
repertoire, might be something to contemplate on, you know, or see if you can plug into maybe a lifetime or some friends who might have been initiated and expand it to like going to college is an initiation. High
Mhm.
school is an initiation. Not everyone finishes high school. Plenty of people don't finish college or go to college. A PhD is an initiation in, Western world. So
Quinceañeras. What's
mhm.
the Jewish term for that?
Bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah,
Yes.
very
Yeah.
powerful initiations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So initiations, I mean, I think I don't, that the importance of them, like you were saying, not just the demarcation, but that it sounds like to me with your darkroom retreat experience and other initiations that I've witnessed in you or in myself or in others, that the importance of an initiation is that when you say demarcation, I'm assuming you mean there's something that comes after this huge shift. And maybe even huge is, like, I don't know, a relative term, I suppose, but there's a shift that occurs in an initiation. And I guess what I was meaning to bring up too around the intentional and non or spontaneous ones is that the those that still exist in our modern day culture, like the ones we just mentioned, these coming of age rituals or initiations, are intentional because we recognize that at from 14 to 15, a female body, biologically, psychologically, emotionally, is going through this tremendous growth in a very meaningful way. There are other very important ages that we know from psychological studies and how the brain develops, et cetera. And so there are cultures that do it more frequently. And like you were saying, college, I got to attend uh, Emmy, our mutual friend Emmy, when I forget if it was her brother went off to college. They had a whole ceremony. It wasn't just a party to celebrate that they got into college. It was this whole initiation, and the community comes together and is advising the person. And in that one, they also had godparents. So there was one man, it was her brother. Now that I recall, one man in the community, not blood related, said, "I will mentor you in finances." Another man said, "I will mentor you in your studies to make sure." And I just thought, like, wow, right? It really does take a village to raise a child. So I just wanted to point that out. And if you want to add anything, Prasad, about the importance, like why do we want to consider and think about whether we want to create an initiation for ourselves? Maybe there's a big thing that we want to change in our lives or the way that we're experiencing ourselves, or when they just kind of show up, the importance of recognizing them as initiations.
Yeah, the word that's coming up and takeaway I want to offer everyone is the opportunity of initiation. So demarcation can be a fancy word. Ritual is, ceremony has the history of it, but initiation is a specific type of ritual ceremony. So yeah, I want to highlight the opportunity that, like in this darkroom retreat, to be a new person afterwards, after initiation, the quinceañera,
Mhm.
to enter adulthood, you know. Um, so yeah, I just want to highlight that
Mhm.
component.
Yeah, perfect. We could end there with the invitation for you all to consider if you want an initiation and what would that look like, whether you actually create it or not. Sometimes even just the intention will sprout this spontaneous experience, and it can come in all kinds of ways. It's not always a celebration like I was describing. Like I said, dark night of the soul or deep grieving can also result in an initiation. So we invite you to consider that today. And as always, we'd love to hear about it. And speaking of initiations, breathwork can be its own initiation. I've had some fantastic experiences there. And we have breathwork this Saturday with Prem Prasad leading us into that. I've had rebirthing experiences, and that's definitely a form of initiation. So we hope to see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Much love.